Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
Tonight we start on the forecast. Another unsettled evening. Over the past several hours, lots of storms have brought heavy showers. But as the rain moves out, the heat moves in. And that's why our team has issued a weather impact alert with temperatures set to soar this week. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We're starting to get some videos from you showing the impact of today's storms. And look at this one. Streets are flooded in downtown Waterbury here. Look at that. Storm drains haven't been able to keep up with the amount of water that has been dumped on this city throughout the last half of the day.
And so now we dry out just in time for another heat wave. Parts of the state under a heat advisory this week. So let's send things over to the chief. Rach, what can you tell us about this weather impact alert?
Yeah, first I just wanted to say again, the threat for flooding is over. Some parts of western Connecticut picked up between 2 to as much as 5 inches of rain. Other parts of the state saw, a couple raindrops or stayed completely dry. So it was feast or famine out there. Now we continue to see steady rain. That'll push farther east. So I do think eastern Connecticut will get at least some showers, some rain for the lawn or garden after being mostly dry through the course of the day. And the thunderstorms that you see to the south likely end up staying to the south. So here's a look at that rain pushing east as we head through the overnight hours. Tomorrow, any early clouds will break for sun and it gets hot. Now, this is not unusual heat at all for this time of year, but the National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory for Hartford, Tolland, and Windham counties Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during peak heating between 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. just to warn people, if possible, to avoid strenuous activity outside during that time frame because it could feel like as hot as between 95 to 100. The temperature won't be that hot, but when you combine the humidity into the mix, that's how hot it will really feel. Overnight lows will be right around 70 degrees. Boy, is it humid out there. We're going to start the day off with some clouds, then we break for sunshine. High temperatures will be in the 80s to near 90, and again feeling hotter than that. And there is a chance for an isolated shower or storm, but most of us will stay dry. We'll get a closer look at how long this heat sticks around coming up.
Thank you, Rach. And because of how hot and humid it will be this week, Connecticut's hot weather protocol will activate tomorrow at noon and will last until 8 p.m. Friday. Now, this means cooling centers will be open to keep everyone safe from the extreme heat. For information on cooling centers and where to find the closest one to you, dial 211 on your phone or visit 211ct.org. We'll also have all that information available on fox61.com. Waterbury police are on the hunt for the man who they say shot and killed a 17-year-old girl last week. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi spoke to a woman who heard the gunshot.
And she also talked to the victim's family about the new developments in the case.
Charisma Fox was shot last Friday morning right here on Willow Street, just blocks away from her home. Her mom says she's still trying to make sense of what happened, and she tells me she's seeking justice for her daughter. Police identify the suspect as 40-year-old Shamar Atwater of Waterbury. They have a warrant for his arrest that charges him with murder and weapons crimes.
I just heard the shot, and it would just, I know it wasn't no fireworks because I can tell the difference, but it was just crazy. And I told my friend, oh my God, that's a shot, and I'm going to go check.
One woman who did not want to be on camera explained what she saw next after she heard the shot that Friday morning.
I seen her, and I couldn't believe how in seconds a life was taken for God knows for what reason.
This vigil on Willow Street is the living memory of Charisma's last moments. Her mother, who is still hurting, shares this video of her beloved daughter who was dreaming of going to prom and becoming a fashionista one day. She tells me Charisma loved making jokes and dreaming big. She says Charisma was a caring young lady who always wanted to help others, especially her grandmother. Meanwhile, family members and neighbors are asking officials to reinforce security around the area. They say they're scared that this could happen again.
He should do a long time in jail, like maybe his life, the rest of whatever he got left. I'm just tired and I'm scared. Can't even go to the store to be safe.
If you know anything about where the suspect is located, you can call Waterbury Police. In Waterbury, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Well, it was anything but business as usual tonight at a Dollar Tree store in Brantford. An SUV crashed through the front window this afternoon.
As you can imagine, there's quite a mess to clean up and repair. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot met people who were there when it happened.
Some people who saw what happened here say they're shocked. Others say they've seen this before.
It's a crazy parking lot. So I always park on this side. I don't park on that side anymore.
Michelle in Tisdale is a yoga instructor at the karate studio off of West Main Street in Brantford. She says the driving she sees in this parking lot is crazy.
People go so fast through the parking lot on their way over to the dollar store over there. They don't really pay attention what they're doing. My car has been dinged a few times. They just really don't pay attention to what they're doing in this parking lot, and they drive too fast for what the parking lot is.
Tuesday afternoon, an SUV crashed into the Dollar Tree, proving her point. Employees that work at nearby stores say this incident was shocking.
This is usually the spot where we always go get our stuff, quick snacks or whatever, when other stores closed. So yeah, it was very shocking to see a local, we always see that kind of stuff on the news, on online stuff, but never in person. That's crazy.
This usually never happens over here, and it's pretty cool to see. Not cool, but it's just interesting.
Other store owners who did not want to go on camera say incidents like this at the Dollar Tree happen often. They say within the last 5 years there have been at least 3 incidents. Michelle isn't surprised.
Not shocking at all.
Other store owners tell me that's not the first time.
That's what I understand as well. Yeah, I was just on Facebook before I came here, and other people said the same thing. It's not the first time. It's the first time that I remember, but apparently it's not the first time.
We reached out to Brantford police about the crash and are still waiting to hear back. Michelle tells me she would like to see speeding bumps in this parking lot to cut down on speeding and bad driving. In Brantford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Upon the court's considerations as outlined on the record, the following sentence is hereby imposed as to the finding of guilty of the crime of murder of Christine Holloway.
The man convicted of killing his girlfriend, the mother of his missing child, will spend decades in prison and likely the rest of his life.
Jose Morales learned his fate today, nearly 3 months after a jury found him guilty of murdering Christine Holloway. The killing happened in 2019.
Fox 61's Alicia Hercules was in the courtroom in Milford today where Christine's family spoke.
Christine Holloway's family appeared in court to read their victim impact statements. They told the judge exactly what Christine meant to them and how losing her completely devastated their family.
Every day I have to think to myself how another human being can take another person's life. And then I realize he's not a human being. He's nothing but a monster.
Christine Holloway's loved ones gathered in the courtroom wearing T-shirts with her picture on the front and a photo of Vanessa Morales, Holloway's missing infant daughter, on the back. Her aunt, Anna Radonsky, described her niece for the judge as she read her victim impact statement.
My beautiful, brilliant, kind, caring, spiritual niece was brutally murdered on 12/2/2019.
She recalled the experience planning Holloway's funeral as traumatizing.
We had to ask if they could dig the hole a little deeper in case Vanessa would be joining her. Nobody should ever have to think about asking that question. Nobody.
Holloway's brother, Stephen Holloway, was also in the courtroom. He read a letter on behalf of their mother.
It was December 2nd, 2019. My life changed completely. I couldn't believe my daughter was dead and my granddaughter was missing. I had to stop going to work and just try to go on to accept what happened. I had many sleepless nights, nightmares, weight gain, anxiety, stressful days, and depression.
Morales was found guilty of murder in Holloway's 2019 death. He was also convicted of tampering with evidence. Supervisory Assistant State's Attorney Howard Stein described the crime in court as brutal.
This crime was a case of domestic violence at its worst. At least 8 separate and distinct blows to her head, with an instrument that left distinct 1-inch circular bruises and indentations and fractures in the skull of Christine Holloway.
Stein also mentioned the many hours Morales spent attempting to clean up the crime scene. Morales said that while he was high on PCP, attackers came into his home, killed Holloway, and left with his child, Vanessa. 5 years later, Vanessa has still never been found. Judge Sherry Murphy was clear to note that the sentencing was not impacted by Vanessa's disappearance. Murphy gave Morales a chance to speak, but he declined. Stein asked the judge to give Morales life in prison while the defense asked for a 35-year sentence. Ultimately, the judge gave Morales a sentence of 65 years in prison.
The facts of this case, along with your criminal history, Mr. Morales, leave this court to believe that you have no regard for the rule of law and a callous disregard for human life.
After the sentencing, the Holloway family said they will never give up hope on finding Vanessa.
Now the next big step that we have to face is finding Vanessa and bringing her home.
Morales has not been charged in the disappearance of his daughter. In Milford, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Man's in the hospital right now. Police say he was stabbed at the fast track station in Hartford this afternoon. Officials say that he was stabbed around 2:10 at the station on Sigourney Street. We're told he's expected to be okay. We're still waiting on the investigators to update us on more details. This is the second stabbing, though, at that station in the last month and a half.
And developing tonight, a fire at a Massachusetts assisted living center has killed 9 people and injured more than 30 others. Flames tore through the Gabriel house in Fall River late Sunday night. Some residents clung to windows screaming for help. Firefighters rescued dozens, but union leaders say low staffing delayed their response. The state says the cause does not appear suspicious, but the investigation continues. And tonight we're hearing horror stories about what it was like inside.
The smoke was heavy in there, and I opened the window. And I yelled, help, help, help. And the fireman came up the ladder, broke the window, and got me out.
Many of the survivors remain in temporary shelters tonight. About 70 people lived at that center.
New London police say the victim of a brutal assault at a care facility, a 41-year-old man, is still in critical condition at the hospital. The attack happened July 7th on Coleman Street. The owner of the care facility told us last week the victim was not a resident there. Investigators say he was found unconscious with serious facial injuries. They say this does not appear to be a random act, and they're still working to find out who did this. If you know anything about the attack, call police.